I'd like to call the meeting to order. Welcome to the regular council meeting for the Village of Valemount. Our vision is striving for a vibrant and balanced community. And it's our mission to serve the community and embrace opportunity. So the first item on our agenda, or the second after calling to order, is the adoption of the agenda. Okay, Councillor Blanchette and Councillor Latimer, all in favor? Okay, not hearing any additions. And moving on to 3.1, adoption of the minutes of the regular council meeting. We'll just get them on the floor and then discuss any changes. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Bullock. Changes, omissions, additions, deletions. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah.
Councillor Bullock was not present at that meeting.
Okay.
Otherwise, everything's great.
Okay. With that amendment, all in favor? Is that, did we hand that okay? Yeah. Good. Okay, no delegations tonight, no unfinished business. Correspondence for action. So item 6.1.
I have to excuse myself.
Why?
Conflict of interest.
Okay, but you should just say again why.
Because the letter is from me.
Okay. So basically, excellent. Okay, I can explain that further. It's pretty obvious, but yeah, Dallas is sort of the head of or one of the key shakers in the Valemount Farmers Market. So we won't have her in the room when we consider this piece. The Valemount Farmers Market is requesting use of the Village Information Center, the grounds. And the recommendation from staff is pending that they have their paperwork in order. And if they give us a table to advertise what we do as a village, nice, that we should allow them to go forward. So, and that's basically, paperwork in order means proof of $2 million liability insurance, which is standard fare. Okay, Councillor Salt, Councillor Latimer, any discussion?
Just that the farmers market is fantastic. I'm glad it's going forward again. And I can't wait for the colored carrots.
Right on. Okay, excellent. We're all in favor of that. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is 6.2, the CRT Local Government Committee Regional District Update, Draft, Preliminary Recommendations. So I can speak to this a little bit because I sit on the Columbia River Treaty Local Government Committee. And basically, a bunch of municipalities from around the Columbia Basin has been just looking at and consulting with the public about what should be included in the treaty. It's tough to say what exactly will happen with the treaty, but we're just bringing up the issues that we feel need to be addressed with the treaty. It's all laid out. I thought that they did a really good job of making it very clear. The intention of this is to get, just to see, because we're in local government, we're a little bit connected in a different way than the general public, just to see if anything's glaring at us, if there's any omission of a community or something like that. So maybe if we could, I'll just move that we approve the recommendation, approve the preliminary recommendations, and we'll get it onto the floor and we'll have a discussion about Bullock. Okay. So did anybody find anything particularly glaring? It's been under the hot forge, like it's been worked over pretty good at this point.
Like you said, I found it pretty well laid out, and it seemed to cover things that I had on my mind. So I thought it was very well laid out.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's really good work. And one of the exciting things about this, it's not the intention of putting it on the agenda, but one of the exciting things about this is it kicks it out to the public, so the public have a chance to see what local governments think the renegotiation of the Columbia River Treaty should look like, more or less.
I just want to pull out something interesting because I read the whole 87 pages of the U.S. Recommendations as well.
Okay.
Just to to get an idea of what they're thinking on the other side, which is completely different than our recommendations that the CRT has rolled out. But it would be, I recommend for people to take a look, just in a contrast, a comparison of what they're thinking and what we're thinking. It's definitely worth the time.
Yeah. If you had to characterize that, what would you say is the difference?
They're much more. It's much more technical than anything. Their only thing is about staving off flooding, and but it kind of alludes to the fact that if it were to cease the treaty, they would be left in a lurch, because the communications that they have between Canada is key, and for them to be able to forecast what they need from us. So it's an interesting paper.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that's getting a lot of sweep from both sides of the table, it's like fairly common, is that when the Columbia River Treaty was first imagined, there was no consideration whatsoever of the environment, fisheries, those kind of things. So both sides, fortunately, there is a little bit of overlap where everybody's saying, when we go back and do this and set what's the lowest water level, what's the highest water level, just taking the fisheries. So that is something that is on both sides.
As well as recreation and agriculture.
Yeah.
Right, those are other overlaps.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so move to accept the draft as is. Okay. So yeah, and there's a little committee. I'll just speak to this very briefly. There was a committee based on, we had a Columbia River Treaty consultation night, and this will be an opportunity, now that this is public, just for that committee to get a hold of this, look at what the recommendations are, because there's a bunch of keeners in the community that really want to put their minds to this too. And there will be a public feedback session, so if they read through it and catch anything, they'll have the opportunity to speak to it as well. So moving on to administrative reports. 8.1, our community conversation report. So this is pretty rich. It's 8 pages of comments from the public, questions, if I'm thinking about the right one, yes. And we're receiving this for information. Councillor Bullock?
I just want to say that thanks for getting it out to us, because I found it extremely helpful in knowing in hearing the feedback of that night. I loved it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to have another one day. Yeah, that'd be great. So I'll take that as a motion to receive.
Yep.
And Councillor Salt. Great. All in favor of receipt? Excellent. The 2013 to 2018 corporate strategic plan. We've been dealing this for a long time, but this is the first time that it goes public. So, but that's just the course of action that it needs to happen. So we're receiving this for information purposes. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Salt, all in favor? Great. And that's another thing that the public can chew on as well. The 2012, there's a lot to chew on tonight. There is. When it rains, it pours. The 2012 annual report. And the recommendation is that we approve the report as presented, and we had a chance to look at that in advance and kick it around a little bit. I think for citizens of Valemount, if you ever wonder what is the village doing, where is it going, what did you do last year, anything, that kind of, if you have those kind of questions, the annual report is actually a really fascinating read. It's a new format that I find very readable. Of course, there's the technical bureaucratic stuff that has to be in there because somebody says this is what your annual report's going to look like, but CAO Yanciw did a fantastic job making it a readable document, I felt, in my opinion. So I'll move to accept it as presented. Okay, and Councillor Latimer. Okay.
Your Worship, can you mention to the public that the audited financial statements are an appendix, but that's such a large document that we don't include it in the annual report, but if the public wishes to see that, they can come into the office to see that.
Okay,
and it's also on our
so it's
website.
Many pages.
And it's on our website.
It is, yeah. Okay, there you go. So I'm not sure, probably might not have heard that. Should get you to stand up and yell it. So the audited financial reports are in an appendix. They're online. They're not included in the document because it's just a raft of a ream of paper. But they're all there, and we've been audited and came out with a clean audit, which was fantastic considering we went through an emergency and had some significant changes around this table. So, yeah. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is the financial report. So we've got a May 2013 progress report. I'm just going to turn to that page 109. Just always. Who wants to put it on the floor? Yeah, Councillor Salt. Councillor Latimer. Okay, and any discussion? Okay. All right, cool. All in favor? Great. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to find out about 30 or 20 or 30 things that we're doing, just look at the Director of Finance's report. There's lots there. Moving on, the quarterly budget report. Pages 111 to 119. Motion to get that on the floor? Yeah. Councillor Salt, Councillor Blanchette. And discussion? No?
First quarter is always the easy one. If anything's off track at first quarter, you know you're in trouble. So it's nice to see that we're on track.
Right on. Nothing's happened yet. It's all been within standard operating parameters. Okay, great. Let's move on. So we've got it on the floor. All in favor of adopt? Yeah, of accepting it. Okay, right on. And the 2012 Sophie report. This is a statement of financial information. They're fantastic. Anyways, that is a big document. So for the avid council fan, lots to read out there. Lots to read. Yeah, and that's just the next 38 pages. Councillor Salt, Councillor Latimer, and all in favor. Great. Then we're on to item 15, council reports. Who would like to go first? Who doesn't? Councillor Salt.
I'm just moving along tonight. Tuesday and Wednesday, June 11th and 12th, attended Justice Institute BC Emergency Management Training, and I took the Emergency Operation Center Essentials Training, and it was 2 days of pretty fun stuff. We got to role play, and I think the following 2 days there was more role playing, but I'm happy to report that I received my grades and I got 98%, so yay! And Friday, June 14th, the Valemount Wildfire Protection Prevention Committee, we had our Valemount Secondary School Education Program, or project. 0.3 hectares were treated, with a total time spent on this project consisting of 4 people slashing for 4 hours before this date, and then 18 people chipping for 5 hours. Only 4 of those 18 were high school students that took part in the education project this year. And I'd wish to thank those 4 students whose names I can't say, I can't mention, but they know who they are. And also recognize and thank the 10 Wildfire Management Branch staff, David Carson, Steve Craig, Mike Duck, Chakra Hero, is that how you say it? Chakara Hero, Raphael Jamin, Jimmy Lurch, Bruno Nouveau, Joe Newsey, Max Robertson, and Darren Summerhays. Then I'd also like to thank Brendan Taylor and Chris Lavelle of the Source Tree Service for the chipping equipment, and Valemount Wildfire Protection Prevention Committee member Bill Christelbrink. And I took one for the ladies. I was the only lady out there working in the bush with the boys, so we did accomplish a lot in that day. And then on Thursday, June 20th, I had a Valemount Area Chamber of Commerce board meeting. The chamber asked me to pass along the request that the village invite a chamber member to sit on the Advisory Planning Commission. So I don't know if it's only going to be done by application through ad or not, but they really feel they'd like to have somebody on that commission from representing the chamber. And then an update on the CBT Community Initiatives Project grant funding awarded to the chamber to provide free World Host training to local businesses. There have been 39 participants to date, and at least one more class is to be scheduled this coming fall. So if anyone hasn't taken the training yet, didn't realize that it was being offered free, paid for by the chamber, I strongly recommend that some of the businesses jump on board and schedule themselves in for the fall class. So that's it for me and tonight.
Excellent. Who's up next?
Oh, well, all I have to report is a meeting with the community forest yesterday, and that's about that.
Okay.
Awesome.
I didn't attend any meetings on behalf of council.
How did you do that?
Because other meetings.
I had a meeting, I don't remember the date, with Debbie Strang. We discussed the Walk Around the World project and how it's going, and it's going quite well. Then on June 12th, I met with Joanna Peterson from Northern Health, and we discussed in great length the concerns that the Health Authority has, and the same things that the municipalities have, and how we can work together to make each one of us stronger. So that was actually really very interesting. And then we had on June 20th the VCTV visioning meeting, which was quite interesting, and a lot came out of it. It's just the first one of a few, where we see VCTV, how it's going to transform, that kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Back to me. We're going so quick. Had a regional district meeting, which was fantastic. Art Kane put me in the spot to talk about our VGD meeting, but it was really. We try to be very careful with the communications around Valemount Glacier destinations. That's just, we just have a communications sort of strategy, which is keep it low profile. Because it has arms and legs and it has the things that it needs, and one of the things it doesn't need to succeed is a bunch of hype, and that's been a bit of a challenge. And when the chair of the meeting says, now report out, and there's like 3 media people in the gallery, and they're like, oh yeah, let's talk about that $800 million resort, that'll be fun to talk about. So the strategy so far is just keep our heads down and say, like, look at, we've been to, it looks good, it looks like things are there, but Valemount's a really nice place right now. That's the main message, is that Valemount's a beautiful place to come and invest in. And so that's why we have another resort coming and looking at this. And as far as the resort is concerned, there's a lot of work and a lot of things left to do, which is technically accurate. So it's kind of hiding our enthusiasm a little bit. But as a follow-up, a reporter from the Citizen is coming out tomorrow. You're going to dread this. Like, I think at some point it's going to pop out into the wide public knowledge that that's coming there. And we really need to nail down with our partners, Alberta, Alberta, the province, the regional district, and everybody, and really have a real plan. Ducking isn't going to work forever. I was was able to go to the Ominika Beetle Action Coalition meeting. I sit on the board there, and the Northern Development Initiative Trust. After that, being forced to speak about VGD in public with no notice, I did speak to Alberta and kind of got an update on the project, and things continue to look really positive. And we sort of said, yeah, that communication strategy, we're going to have to look at that. I was also able to go to the National Aboriginal Days. I'm going to try saying that again. The National Aboriginal Days at Kinnickinnickers. And it was fantastic. And Kathy and Penny were there, and they had some amazing artwork there from done locally, as well as Nita Tinsley and her mom were there, and to see the artwork, actually a lot of this stuff had been produced locally. It was just fantastic. So had a great time over there, and it was really funny. And they made me dress up and took my picture, and thought that was really funny. It was good. And that's my report for this week. So Motion to receive the reports? Great. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Salt, all in favor of receipt? Great. No new business is listed on the agenda. We've got a list of previous council resolutions is there, but I don't think the piece is there, but it's marked on the agenda. That'll be coming up. Now we proceed to public comment is the next item. So public comments, just where you stand up for 2 minutes and state your name and address and just address council, and we'll try not to engage in, we'll just try to listen is the objective of the exercise. So going once, going twice. It is slow summertime. Third time no taker. Ms. Beeson. Okay, she's good. I'm good. Right on. Okay. She's my old standby. If she's not talking, nobody's talking. So now we have a notice to proceed in camera. And this staff recommendation is council proceed in camera for the consideration of one item as per section 90A of the community charter. Councillor Salt, Councillor Blanchette, all in favor.
Your worship. Just before the public leaves, can you remind them that there's, look at the some garbage cans outside the door?
Okay. You can, so we're adjourned, or we're taking a break, so you may say that. You can stand up and yell.
Yes.
Yayo.
There are sample cans of the new garbage cans outside the door, so you're welcome to have a look at those. It's a preview of what's coming.
Yeah, just one each. Take one each. Right? No, don't take one.
What's planned for the biggest one?
Bodies.
Commercial.
Hollie say.
Commercial.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Garbage ones will be great.
We're not discussing those details here. There's a public meeting coming.
2 weeks, I've done it before.
Don't forget the RCMP welcome on Thursday
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
at 4.
Yeah.
Basically jail.
Yeah. I think you
That's
get a
right.
tour of the jail.
Yeah.
Thanks for
burgers.
coming, you guys,
Yes.
on a Tuesday evening when it's sunny and beautiful.
Lovely
Yeah.
outside.
You guys could be working on your vans.
Or gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.